Hello and happy sweltering Saturday from Santa Maria, California. It is the home opener for your Allen Hancock College Bulldog football team. The Bulldogs are 1-0 after their non-conference, non-division, non-league win last week against Santa Barbara. And for my 11th year on the mic, there is nobody I'm happier to announce than my cohort, the color commentator, the wise guy. Irvin Kiger is back on the mic here at Allen Hancock College football. Thank you so much.
Hey, well, CJ, you know, some days I'm the fire, some days I'm the ashes, some days I'm the phoenix, but always I rise.
Hey, that's Irvin Kiger. He will be here with me for all games this season. It's so nice to say that. It is a beautiful day in Santa Maria. There's a little bit of rain.
I quite like this kind of weather.
Yeah, it's football weather, and the field looks great. The team is pumped up again, like last season. Big numbers, Irvin, on how many players are here. We looked at the red shirt numbers before the game started, before we got here, and there's over 15 guys that are red shirting or gray shirting. It's the second probably biggest team the Bulldogs have ever had.
Well, that helps, you know, when California is paying for the first year of school.
Of course it does. Did you go back to school?
No.
Just curious. Seth Damron, it's his third year as the head coach. He's been with the program longer. However, it's really his first year. He had a football season last season. His first year, there was absolutely no football due to COVID. Last year, he had a football season. The Bulldogs went 5-5. One of them was a forfeit because of COVID and pandemic issues. But this year, it really feels like it's Seth Damron's first year because he's not dealing with all that protocol and all of the situations and issues surrounding the pandemic.
Well, you know, for those not in the know, there's 5 conferences in the Southern California Football Association for junior colleges or community colleges. The top 3, Hancock moved up to play with the big boys last year.
For sure, in the Northern League.
In the Northern League, and I really expected them to go maybe 2-8, 1-9, 3-7,
Really?
the very best.
Okay.
I really did, because it was such a big move. And you're playing against big schools. Like you said, they're really 5-4 on the field. Then they had that one forfeit made 5-5. It's my understanding if they had beaten Long Beach, there would have been a chance they could have had a bowl game.
Which would have been really exciting.
Yes.
But the fact that they got that many games in 2021 was a complete surprise for everyone. There were junior college and community college and city college football games canceling day of game. The Bulldogs getting on the field 9 times, that's a pretty good percentage.
There was teams that actually traveled, and once they got there, found out there was no game and have to come back.
Not anymore. Here we are, the 2022 Bulldog football season, beating Santa Barbara last week 21-10 at halftime. The Bulldogs led it 14-0. And you mentioned this, and I also wrote it down, and we didn't know this about each other. Probably one of the best stats of the game was only 6 penalties for the Bulldogs for 85 yards.
Well, that's a surprise. It really was. But, you know, I listened to the game, and I really enjoy Santa Barbara's announcer. The first half, Hancock took care of their opportunities. They fumbled the ball 4 times, even though the stats don't show that, but they recovered every one of them. They intercepted 2 passes, and they went down, and as you said, put 14 points on. The second one I thought was the best call of the game for Hancock when they threw a 63-yard pass after a interception. So
we've got the coin toss with 3 captains heading out to the field, Irvin. Zeke Storer, the quarterback, Jesse Garza, the sophomore linebacker, and also the defensive lineman Maha Passe coming out for the coin toss. And there's 4 players from the Wolverines on the other side of the field.
One of them I can see is a quarterback.
The coin toss today in honor of his retirement, former cross-country coach.
And track and field.
Louis Quintana. It feels good to be back here.
Yes, it does.
It's a sweltering day, though. Let's be honest. It's in the low 90s. It'll probably be in the high 80s as the entire game goes on today at Hancock College. But there are some fans in the stands with some umbrellas. And I'm telling you, this sideline has a different energy. Their chemistry is on fire. They're motivated at practice when I've been to practice during the week. They are up for this task in 2022.
Well, you know, there's a difference between are we playing this week or are we not playing this week, and knowing that you're playing that week. And Hancock, like you said, they have bigger numbers than in the years past, with maybe the exception of last year.
Head coach Seth Dameron in his third season as the head coach. Remember, he was a coordinator for a few years before that. Chris Dutra has stuck around since retiring from head coach duties. 21 years with the Allen Hancock College Bulldogs as a coach. He's now the associate head coach and offensive coordinator, along with Ed Herman, who is working with him his fourth year as the offensive coordinator. Robbie Fukuhara, the defensive coordinator. Joe Parker back on the line. George Heather on the line. Remember, his son Dominic King played for the Bulldogs and transferred to Cal Poly. Two new coaches, Mike Pomfret running the run game. It's his first year. He was at Feather River College and a couple years at the University of Texas. And Donnie Cross, you might know his name, coming from Lompoc to add to the coaching staff, as well as Hector Gill working with the kickers. The Bulldogs won the coin toss, so they're going to take possession in the second half, and they will get set to kick off. We've got two kickers this year, different than last year when we only had one guy doing both duties.
And he was good.
Oh, he was. We will talk about him for sure. Cody Hall is the punter, and Ray Seabury, the kicker. He's from Waimanalo, Hawaii, and Cody Hall from Red Mountain High School in Mesa, Arizona. Just getting set. Game 2 for your Bulldogs. I still want to hear what you thought about last week's game. You listened to them, the game against the Vaqueros. We will get underway here. Welcome in to Allen Hancock College football. Your Bulldogs 1-0, and the Wolverines of SBVC lost to Desert last weekend. Kick is up, and it's fielded by Amarian Johnson with the fair catch. The Wolverines will have their first possession of the ball game, led by Daniel Algadas, his third year as the head coach, a former UCLA Bruin player.
You know, what teams, especially opposing teams, really have to get used to here when you come into Santa Maria is the wind, CJ. And every year the wind is coming from
what are you talking about, Irvin?
Yeah. Coming from the coast. It makes it much more difficult on the quarterback than most people realize.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Bulldogs have on defense. Vic Garnes is back. He was one of the stars last year, as well as Ron Fusilier and Andrew Lauritsen. Three of the stars on the defensive side of the football for the Bulldogs. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Wolverines. Robert Eggleston, the quarterback, the only quarterback that saw playing time last week against Desert, from the shotgun right away, a quick pass, looking for his wide receiver, and it's incomplete.
And the wide receiver had a couple yards separation. I mean, if that ball had been a little closer, that could have gone for 6.
Tavon Tinsley, the wide receiver for San Bernardino. You'll have to excuse us. We've got all new numbers for the Wolverines this morning, so we will keep track and share that with you.
Very typical Hancock defense, though, because they're not real big, but they're very quick.
Another pass for Eggleston. This time it's batted down, incomplete.
Nice defensive play there by B.J. Jordan.
B.J. Jordan playing on both sides of the ball. I saw him earlier on in practice. He looked a little injured, but he's back. He did not get any time on offense last week, but we'll see B.J. in the defensive backfield.
I'm going to correct, though. That was Cyree Lewis.
Oh, him too.
That knocked that pass down.
And by the way, Cyree, another returner for the Bulldogs. There's a penalty on the play, so it's a 5-yard penalty. 2nd and 5 now, replaying the down from the 30.
Was Hancock offsides?
Yes, I think so. I looked down, but I'm sure that's what it was. And this time, it's a complete pass to Demoria Jackson, and he gets a first down for the Wolverines.
And I don't believe that pass was intended for him. I think the pass was intended for Bryant Lemus, but Jackson came through and snagged it away from him. Two receivers within a couple of yards of one another. You don't normally see that.
First down of the ball game for the Wolverines, Irvin. They're at the 49-yard line on their own side of the field. No score here early on, Bulldogs and Wolverines. In motion goes Fletcher to the far side, and it's a pass play to him, incomplete. Freddie Fletcher, the freshman from Cajon High School, San Bernardino. Last week he had 9 carries for 46 yards and a TD, 2 catches for 30 yards, incomplete, intended for Fletcher.
One thing that I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you did on the stats last week offensively for San Bernardino, is they only had 39 yards on the ground. So they're going to put the ball in the air
Someone asked me when I was walking up to the press box today, is San Bernardino a passing team? Yeah, and it's going to make it interesting.
Even though the plays last week were 50-50 pass rush.
It's on the 2nd and 10. There's a flag before he can get his pass off. We'll see what the call is. Illegal substitution on the Wolverines. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd and 15. Now from the 44-yard line. The Wolverines wearing their white uniforms with their powdered blue numbers. And the Bulldogs in their Dodger blue with their white numbers and their white. Those helmets are nice. They're white helmets. I think those helmets were new last year, Irvin. On the 2nd and 15, Eggleston starts to call a play from the line of scrimmage and then looks over to the sideline. He's got a few seconds left on the play clock. Gets it off in the shotgun, rolling to the near side. This time, it's intended again for Tinsley, and it's overthrown.
Yeah, I mean, Kinsley came out and just cut right to the sidelines. He was open a bit. Unfortunately, Eggleston could not hit him. He actually hit a coach for Hancock on the outside.
That was a good catch on the sideline.
It was a very nice catch.
3rd and long for the Wolverines.
First third down. Last week they were very efficient in third downs.
No score here early. Just under a minute played, Bulldogs and Wolverines. Once again, Fletcher in motion. This time it's a pass up the middle for Tinsley. What a hit. We were talking about him early. What a hit, Vic Garnes.
Lovely hit. I mean, he timed that perfectly. Unfortunately, the young kid is not getting up, Tinsley. He looks like he got hit in the ribs. I mean, it was a clean play throughout. No doubt about it. He touched the ball and then was nailed by the defensive back for Hancock.
Garnes only 1 tackle last week, but we said his name a lot last season. With a Wolverine down on the field, we will take a quick timeout. There's no score early here, Bulldogs and Wolverines. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Bulldog Football. Wide receiver Tavon Tinsley gets up and gets off the field on his own. It's always good to see. It was a nice clean hit by the sophomore Vic Garnes out of Eagle Crest High School, Denver, Colorado. Now it's a 4th and 15. Back to punt is Brian Bottress. Looks like Jordan Smith is back. It's a low punt. He gets it inside the 30, and he's tackled right away at the 30-yard line.
Talk about a room service bounce. It bounced right up to him. I did notice last week that the kicking game for San Bernardino was a bit suspect in terms of punting. He averaged about 30 yards for every kick.
First time we're going to see Seth Dameron's offensive unit come onto the field here at the home opener, Bulldogs against the Wolverines. Zeke Storer was the second quarterback to start for the Bulldogs last season. I think it was Mark Rodriguez.
Yeah,
he got hurt early.
He only lasted about a quarter.
Yep. 1st and 10 for Storer from the 31, and he is back. Pretty good week last week. 123 yards, a touchdown, 5 of 13, even ran the ball a few times. Storer is back. A quick pass play on the far side. He's looking for Jaleel Walker, the sophomore. It's incomplete.
Jaleel Walker, who was the leading receiver last week, had over 100 yards receptions on 2 catches last week, 1 for a touchdown.
He's a sophomore. We said his name quite a bit last year. Cesar Chavez High School out of Levine, Arizona.
You know, you talk about the fact that you talked about a lot of these people last year.
Yes.
There's more sophomores on this squad than there has been in years past.
Because they got that extra COVID year, too.
Yeah.
That's part of it. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Store under center. This time, he gives it to Luketu. J.P. Luketu.
Luketu last week ran the ball 12 times for 6.3-yard average. That time he only got back to the line of scrimmage. He had 75 yards last week, and Dior Kennedy had 83, the two leading rushers so far this year for the Allen Hancock College Bulldogs.
Looks like there's a loss of a yard on this one, Irvin, for the freshman runner. So it's now 3rd and a long 11. Bulldogs not moving the ball too quickly early. Store rolls to his right. He wants to pass. Looks like he was trying to get it to Maximo Sotero. Maybe not. That's a number that I'm not sure. Collins, Petaway, it could be if it was 83.
At any rate, even when you're run heavy like Hancock is normally every year, they run the ball about 75% pass, 25%. When you have an incomplete pass on first down, it really makes it much, much harder for that offensive coordinator, and it just shortens that playbook up considerably.
No movement for the offense on their first set of downs for the Bulldogs. So Cody Hall comes in for his first punt of the game. A clean, nice high punt. It's going to bounce inside the 50 on Wolverine's side of the ball. And it's downed by John Allen. The wide receiver on that play, that last play from scrimmage, Janaris Clay, tight end, a freshman. This is what we do the first couple games of the year, right? We figure out who's who.
Yes.
Who we're going to see. And it's also what Damron does, and that's what Dutra did too the first couple games of the year. You're going to see a lot of numbers on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, they don't really know whom they have until you're playing against somebody other than your own team.
For sure, for sure. And they've got that scrimmage against El Camino. You want to know who's healthy. A pass play intended for Raheem Ramsey, a set of brothers on the Wolverine squad from Adelanto, California. He's a wide receiver, and then his brother's a defensive back.
And another nice play by Cyree Lewis. I mean, that's twice now they've gone to his side, and he has just been right there in terms of defending that pass.
Another pass play, but he's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Eggleston is dragged back, and it's a first sack of the ball game for the Bulldogs, a loss of over 10 yards.
Yeah, last week they only had 2 sacks, but they got right on Eggleston right there, as you said, about a 10-yard loss. They're only going to make it about a 5 yards. I guess he was initially hit there and pushed back.
You don't always know when they're going to blow that whistle on a play like that when a guy's still standing on his feet.
You got to continue, don't you?
Every single play of the game so far, when the offense is on the field for San Bernardino, they look over for their play. Different than the Bulldogs, who run the play in with their tailback, running back, or halfback.
Yeah.
Just an observation here from the play-by-play voice, Irvin Kiger. 3rd and 15. Not a great snap, but Eggleston holds on to it. He's in trouble again, but he gets out of it. He runs. He's holding on to it himself. And he gains about 3 yards, and he's tackled at the 43-yard line.
Just as good as a sack, though. I mean, because they kept him in front of you. They kept the Edelson in front of him. He couldn't get past him, couldn't get towards that first down marker.
Not even to the original line of scrimmage.
No, brings up a 4th and long.
And here comes Brian Bottress again with Jordan Smith back for the punt. He's a sophomore. Last week, a punt return for 6 yards, a kick return for 21. He's out of Fort Hays State, a transfer. 6'2", 175. The punt is up. And it is high, and it bounces. It's probably a 10, 15-yard punt because of the roll, and it's finally downed by one of the Wolverines at the Bulldog 45.
I've got a 13-yard punt. That's that wind coming into it, making it a big effect on the kicking game.
Bulldogs have a second chance here with their next set of downs.
This was much the same thing that the Bulldogs did last week. I mean, they didn't get that offense going until midway through that second quarter when they started getting turnovers.
And then they were up 14-0 at the half.
Yes, because of
neither team scored in the first quarter.
Well,
yeah.
Santa Barbara had chances. They just couldn't. They couldn't do it.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 46. Store under center. B.J. Jordan into the game, who did not get playing time, as I said last week. He's playing on both sides of the ball for the Bulldogs. John Allen bringing in the play from the Bulldog sideline.
Shh.
No cussing on the radio, please. No cussing. His papers blew away. Poor Irvin. It's a gain of 1 yard on the play.
Thank you.
It's a 2nd and 9. This time Allen, the carrier, gets a couple runs right up the middle, Irvin, into a couple big-time Wolverines.
So far, all the runs have been between the tackles. They have not come to the outside, try to hit the edge yet. Brings up 3rd and about 8. That makes it much more difficult. It's that first down play. When they pick up 5 and 6 yards, that's when I really like it for any team, because it just opens up the playbook to any offensive coordinator.
Ferrari Busby in the backfield. Ferrari Busby, a running back out of Las Vegas.
A draw play, picked up about 3-4 yards. And brings up 4th down now for the Bulldogs.
And here comes Cody Hall for his second punt of the game. The wind is definitely a factor right now for the Bulldogs kicking game. For both sides.
I don't want to say I called that at the beginning of the game, but
You did. Bryant Lemus back to field the punt. Freshman out of Norco, California. Hall with, a nice punt. He backs up Lemus, who calls a fair catch at the 9-yard line.
that's a 40-yard punt. And
what a nice punt.
Yeah, tremendous punt. Lots of air. There was coverage downfield. Exactly what the doctor called for. I mean, between the two teams, there's only been, what, 1 first down so far?
Yep. And 3 punts.
Unfortunately, I don't have the Southern Mississippi sheets.
Stop it. One thing I forgot. The one thing I forgot today was your play call sheets that Brian made you a whole stack of. It's funny. I forgot mine, but you have like 20 of them. So I think it's 50-50 right here.
If you went into my garage and looked for anything, if you found it,
I don't want to.
I'd be the happiest man alive.
No score here. 8:49 remaining in the first quarter. Fletcher, the ball carrier for the Wolverines.
Ooh, much better.
Devin Guggia.
A returning linebacker
Yep.
for the out of St. Joe's.
Yep, he made the tackle.
He had a good year last year. Had a good game last week.
No gain on the play. Fletcher runs on the far side. This time he's chased out of bounds by Jordan Fields and Sidney Jeffries.
Here we have over 8 minutes left, and this is the 3rd time that they've had the ball. So they're starting to run the ball now, speed the game up, take a little time off the clock.
Gain of 6 on the play. It has cooled down a little bit.
Yes, it has.
Expecting some rain today, and it said right at 2 o'clock, but the skies are pretty clear here. Not thinking Mother Nature's going to give us any rain. An incomplete pass intended for Ramsey. It'll be now a 4th down for the Wolverines, and once again, special teams coming onto the field for both squads. Jordan Smith, once again, will return punts. Sidney Jeffries had a kick return last week, and Vic Garnes had a punt return. Those are the three that got action on returns last week against Santa Barbara.
They even talked about thunder and lightning this afternoon. If that's the case, it's going to be audio serving.
We had a 3-minute rainstorm in Pismo Beach last night, and that was it. But it's super muggy. It's actually a nice day for football. Batras with another low punt, fielded at the 48 by Smith. He finds some room on the near side. He's along the sideline to the 20. He hurdles a special teams player, which is exciting for that sideline. Jordan Smith, what a run. Starting at the 49, and he gets all the way down inside the 15. A 30-plus yard punt return for the sophomore Jordan Smith.
You know what I really enjoyed on that particular play? He got around the edge, and there was Bulldogs coming back, peeling back to block, but they didn't block once he got past them, and because then they would have thrown the flag and said and called them for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Great field position for the Bulldogs. A 1st and 10 from the 14.
Touchdown.
Dior Kennedy with a 14-yard touchdown, but there is a flag on the play. His first carry of the game. He had 12 carries last week, 83 yards. Dior Kennedy comes in, runs 14 yards into the end zone, but there is a flag on the play.
The Bulldogs are not coming off the field, so it looks like it is against them. Holding.
It still was a nice run.
It was very nice, but they went to the outside.
Yes.
Went to the edge.
Yep.
Instead of trying to do it between the tackles.
Yep. Luketu and Jordan both were trying up the middle earlier in the game with Allen as well, and Kennedy goes around the right side and finds a way. Kennedy in the backfield. Store under center. Kennedy with the ball. This time he goes straight up the middle, and guess what he runs into? 5 defensive linemen.
Lots of Wolverines. That was one thing that I really appreciated last week about Kennedy and Luketu is about they both averaged over 6 yards per carry, which is excellent running.
And Luketu is a freshman at Eagle Crest High School in Colorado, and Dior Kennedy, the Miami kid from Miami Southbridge High School, was part of this squad last year.
You lived in Miami, right?
I lived in Hollywood, Florida for a short time, and I worked at WQAM Radio, the radio station, the flagship of the Miami Dolphins at the time, years ago in the late 90s. Storer with the pitch to Luketu.
So far, this version of the Bulldogs, what I've really noticed is once they get outside, they seem to have a little more speed than they did in years past.
Storer comes to the sideline to talk with Seth Damron for a quick minute before taking the play back to the huddle. Sorry, Irvin.
No, that's fine. The running backs are a little smaller than they have been in years past, but very, very quick.
This one is Latrell Brown, the sophomore out of Ivanhoe, North Carolina, on the 3rd and 11. This time, Storer wants to pass quickly into the end zone, and it's batted away. It was intended for, I think, Jaleel Walker.
Nice pass. The pass was right there, but the coverage for the Wolverines was actually quite good.
It's a fourth down. Ray Searberry coming in for the field goal attempt. No field goals in the game last week, but he was 3 for 3 on extra points.
A 32-yard attempt.
And the kick is wide to the right, no good. So the Bulldogs start in great field position and cannot put anything on the board. Still no score with 5:41 remaining here in the first quarter. We'll take a quick timeout. For Irvin Kiger, I'm CJ Silas. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Bulldog football. No score here from Allen Hancock College, game 2 of the Bulldog football season. Hancock is 1-0 on the year, taking on the 0-1 Wolverines of San Bernardino Valley. The Bulldogs, on the last drive, started inside the 20, but could not capitalize. And after a missed field goal, the Wolverines take over.
And Freddie Fletcher, the running back, picked up 5 yards on the first down, brings up second much shorter.
This time it's Hunter Beitler. And a loss on the play. Great coverage by Jordan Fields. A little bit of help with Devin Guja.
Great coverage. I mean, he was in that backfield. He threw for the 5-yard loss that they'd picked up initially.
Yep. Freddie Fletcher's 5-yard just got taken away.
That's right.
It's 3rd and 10. No score. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. A quick pass intended for the wide receiver who tripped up a little bit.
No, I don't think that the quarterback and the receiver were on the same page. One sprinting down the field, and the quarterback thought he was going to go down and run a post, and that's where he threw the ball, but there was nobody there.
On the new roster that I got, that wide receiver was a quarterback. DeMarcus Avery, a quarterback for the Wolverines, suiting up in number 3, lining up as a wide receiver. It's 4th and 10. Another punt for the Wolverines. It's a high snap, but he holds on to it. Kicks it with his left foot. Another low kick. Jordan Smith doesn't even go near the ball. And it rolls out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will take over with no score at their own 44.
A 36-yard punt. And one thing that he does for all those golfers that are out there, when you're playing in the wind, you don't want to get the ball in the air because it's not going to go very far. He's trying to kick line drives.
He's doing that on purpose, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yes.
That's why I'm not a kicker.
That's the one time he did put it in the air, it went for about 13 yards. This is the second week in a row that San Bernardino's actually been on the road. They opened the season with 2 roads.
It's 1st and 10. 3rd possession of the ball game for the Bulldogs. And Jordan finds a hole, and it's the first Bulldog first down, and he's still going. B.J. Jordan, what a run, what a fight for those yards.
What a tremendous second and third effort. I mean, he was hit.
He was down almost. His knee didn't touch, but it looked like he was down, and he just kept going.
He picked up another 20 yards after he was initially hit.
What a run.
38-yard run I've got.
Ball's placed at the 12. It's a 44-yarder because it started at the 44 in Bulldog territory. There you go, B.J. Jordan.
Initial first down for the Bulldogs.
Yep. This one, Allen with the ball. And Jordan was not in the stats from last week. And I didn't remember hearing his name called.
Well, you made the comment earlier that this is what Chris Dutra did. This is what Seth Damien's doing. Is they need to find out what these kids can do. So there's going to be more people actually participating in the first couple of games.
For sure.
Until they can get it down to where their starters and then second stringers are going to be for the rest of the year.
Speaking of, Ferrari Busby comes in, the freshman who did not see time last week, the 5'6", 180 freshman out of Las Vegas. He comes into the ball game as the running back. Petesio Losefo blocking halfback in front of him. Storer rolling to the near side, and it's a complete pass to Maximo Sotero, the wide receiver out of San Luis Obispo High. He had 1 catch last week. He had to dive for that one.
If I remember correctly, when he played for the Tigers in San Luis, he was a pretty good ball player.
It's a 3rd and short for the Bulldogs.
I honestly believe you're in 4-down territory myself.
This close?
Yeah, well, with the wind the way it is and everything else.
Yep, watching Ray Seabury try to kick that last field goal. For sure. Jordan back in. Jordan finds a hole and dives into the end zone for a touchdown. Bulldogs. A 4-yard touchdown run for the sophomore B.J. Jordan.
And it was all brought up by B.J. Jordan with that initial 40-plus yard drive or run that got him down inside the red zone.
Bulldogs get on the board first, 6-0 with 2:22 remaining here in the first quarter. Made good use of this set of downs as opposed to the one where they started 14 yards from the goal line. This time they started at their own 44 and got into the end zone for a score.
Well, that holding penalty, that's going to a drive killer every time.
Point after attempt is up, and it's good. Ray Seabury puts point number 7 on the board for the Bulldogs. They lead the Wolverines late in the first quarter, 7-0. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Bulldog Football. Allen Hancock College with the first touchdown of the game, leading it 7-0, B.J. Jordan.
B.J. Jordan so far today has carried the ball 3 times for 49 yards.
Kick out of bounds around the 5-yard line. I think that was Quintana who made the who almost caught that kickoff. Maybe the retired track coach that was here for the maybe not. He just looks like him. He's got a big hat on.
Yeah.
Wolverines coming back onto the field with their offensive unit.
So that really comes back to bite you when you kick the ball out of bounds on a kickoff. It comes back to the 35-yard line.
Only in junior college football.
Don't they do that in the pros?
Not the 35.
What do they do it in the pros?
It doesn't even seem right. We need get Mr. Rulebook on the phone. Daniel Alagadas, head coach, offensive coordinator, his 3rd season with the Wolverines. His offense comes back on the field, trailing 7-0 with 2:22 remaining in the first. Eggleston, a pass play on the near side. It was intended for DeMario Jackson. Incomplete, brings it to a 2nd and 10. Irvin has a statistic computer for the first time this year. It's his fun little gadget.
Thank you.
That one intended for Isaac Baker, the freshman. Oh, did my little thingy fly off? Sheesh, my little thingy. It's my microphone cover. Don't get any weird ideas. It's my microphone cover. The little foamy thingamabobber. Technical difficulties, human error. Operator error, operator error.
So if I'm looking at the stats correctly, he is 1 of 10 so far today, Eggleton?
We'll get our stats from Brandon Robertson. Will hook us up at the end of the first quarter. Fletcher can't find any room to run for the Wolverines. Defensive line for the Bulldogs looking pretty strong right now.
Well, Jesse,
and they're not huge.
No, they're small. They rely more on speed than they do their size and their bulk. And that was Jesse Garza that got in there first with the initial contact. Brings up another 4th down. I mean, San Bernardino Valley has really had, I think, 1 first down so far tonight.
It's a 4th and 11 for the Wolverines. Just under 1:40 remaining in the first quarter. Bulldogs up 7-0. Batras, another punt. This time he does kick it up into the air, and it bounces at the Bulldog 46 and just stops. Bulldogs will come on the field with a 7-0 lead.
That was a 20-yard punt. See, he got the ball in the air.
The wind.
It just died.
Yep, it is windy.
That's what happens to most of my 300-yard drives. It ended up being about 125 yards out on the fairway and to the right about 125 yards.
Luckily, the wind doesn't affect roller derby, so I can't use it as an excuse for my putts and drives and sand wedges and not sandwiches.
No, you didn't bring enough for that.
No, you only brought enough food for yourself, producer Brian Dill. 1st and 10, Bulldogs from their own 46. Dior Kennedy, the ball carrier.
And kudos to the Wolverine defense. They have actually played the run pretty well. Other than that really one by Jordan that went down for 40-something plus yards, they have really stopped the Bulldogs pretty much right at the line of scrimmage for the most part today. This time was a 2-yard loss.
Wide receiver Alex Sutton and J.P. Luquetu bringing in the plays from the sideline after a loss of 2 yards, 2nd and 12 from the 43. It's so windy, my windshield blew off. Get it? Storer finds Sutton for a quick little pass play behind the line of scrimmage, and he gets almost to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Alex Sutton, a freshman local from Orchid Academy. Last week he had 1 catch and 1 carry, 6'2", 235.
So Storer is what, 2 of 5?
You have the stats in front of you.
Yeah, but I don't know how to.
Operator error, operator error. Operator error. Latrell Brown coming in.
Let's face it, the only one that's literate and computer-wise in this whole team is a producer.
Just in time, the first quarter ends, and we will take a break. We will try to get our stat computer back online. Irvin Kiger and CJ Silas having a great time here with Bulldogs leading the Wolverines 7-0. We will come back with second quarter action. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College, Game 2 of the Bulldog football season. The Bulldogs are 1-0 on the year, taking on the 0-1 Wolverines of San Bernardino Valley College. And your Bulldogs lead at 7-0 after 1 quarter of play. The Bulldogs with the ball, switching sides of the field now on a 3rd and 12. Ball's on the 43-yard line. Storer under center. Remember, I used to recognize guys with their socks, now with the hair. This one, he's looking for Walker, and it looks like the wind. The wind stopped the ball in the air.
Now, this is the problem the quarterbacks have. You get used to throwing into the wind, and then you switch sides, and now you're throwing with the wind.
That is tough.
And the way it's blowing right now, it's not easy on either of these kids.
No way. And now the Bulldogs will feel it because they're moving from south to north, left to right, which the Wolverines were doing in the first quarter. We saw that with their kicking team, their punts. And we'll see now how Cody Hall handles the wind, punting from the 29-yard line. It gets up in the air. It's end over end. Not a bad punt. It drops at the 25, and it's downed by Jacob Burr. Jacob Burr, a sophomore from Grandview High School.
A 32-yard punt.
Not bad. Here come the Wolverines into the wind as opposed to against the wind from the first quarter. They lost last week 37-20 against Desert.
And you know what? They got back in that game. They played from behind all the way until about 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They tied it at 20-20. But unfortunately, College of the Desert started 3 drives inside their 40, well, 2 inside their 40 and 1 on the 44-yard line to put up another 3 scores.
This pass all the way down the field intended by Eggleston for Rashawn Ramsey. He had 3 catches last year for 32 yards.
And Ramsey had some separation there.
He did. The brothers Ramsey for San Bernardino.
San Bernardino now is 1 of 12 through the air. Very good. Yourself?
Hello, Kevin Walters is here. Welcome in. Pass play this time down the near sideline, once again over the head. This one intended for DeMoro Jackson. So the brothers Ramsey, Rashawn is the wide receiver, and Raheem is a wide receiver, but also Rashawn plays a little bit on the defense. Both of them set up as wide receivers.
So now the quarterback is actually virtually learning how to throw the ball now with the wind.
Completely different situation.
Yeah. I mean, 2 days ago, we were just praying for the wind.
3rd and 10. Eggleston intercepted. Garnes. And he's still on his feet. Vic Garnes intercepts it. And he ends up at the 30-yard line. A pass play right into the hands of the sophomore, Vic Garnes.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Edelson. I mean, he had somebody open on the other side of Vic Garnes, but Vic Garnes just stepped right in there, took that interception. Bulldogs will now start deep in the Wolverine territory.
First turnover of the ball game for either team.
About the 30-yard line, eh?
A.
Well, I am half Canadian.
I know you are, A. 7-0, Bulldogs lead it, just under 15 minutes to play in the second quarter. Getting underway here on the Vic Garnes interception. Bulldogs take over 1st and 10 from the Wolverines 30. Let's see if Damron and Dutra call for run plays or pass plays.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they go for the juggler right here. They did this last week.
And there's some whistles. It's a timeout for the Bulldogs. We will take a timeout as well with 14:30 remaining in the first half. Bulldogs up 7-0. You are listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Bulldog Football.
Hey, Dr. Walter, sorry about your UT 10.
1st and 10 from the Wolverine 30. Storer gives it to Jordan.
Now, last week against Santa Barbara, the same sort of circumstances. Hancock got an interception the first play. Storer went deep. 63-yard touchdown pass and just caught the Vaqueros. Didn't have any idea what was going on.
Allen comes in. When I was looking at the stats for that game, just to be sure, I noticed that Logan Mortensen got a play in at quarterback, the kid from Rigetti. It's because Storer lost his helmet.
He lost his helmet, came in at 4th down,
and a touchdown.
Instead of kicking,
so awesome.
He throws a 20-yard touchdown pass.
So awesome. 2nd and 10. Allen in the backfield. And it's caught. Walker into the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown reception. Storer to Jaleel Walker.
It's the first time you'll hear it, but come time next year, Jaleel Walker will be playing on Saturdays at another school somewhere.
Look at that.
At a 4-year school.
The interception by Vic Garnes turns into a 6-yard touchdown. 6-point touchdown by Jaleel Walker, 30-yard catch. And now Seabury coming in for the extra point. Bulldogs up 13-0.
What a great route. Nice pass, too. But Walker,
into the wind.
Yeah, but Walker just made sure his body was between the defender and the ball.
Kicks up, and it's good. It's 14-0. Your Bulldogs with the lead early here in the second quarter for Irvin Kiger. I'm CJ Silas. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Bulldogs are up 14-0 early in the second quarter after a Vic Garnes interception. The Bulldogs march into the end zone on a 30-yard touchdown catch.
That's what
by the sophomore.
Every offensive coordinator loves to see, is to actually put points on the board after a turnover.
Seabury with a nice kick. The wind was down for 2 seconds, and he got a nice kick up. Fielded inside the 10. Bryant Lemus, the ball carrier.
Now, this is an important defensive stand for the Bulldogs because it's a shutdown stand. You know, it's like if the Giants score a run in the third inning and the Dodgers come up, the last thing you want to do is let the Dodgers score that next inning.
But how do the New York Giants play the LA Dodgers? They're a different sport. Why do you have to use a baseball reference? You just want to dig. You just want to dig, Mr. Many, Many Champions.
Hey, I'm an Atlanta Brave fan now.
Oh, gee. You better be. You better be. Here come the Wolverines. They'll start on the 30 in their own territory, trailing 14-0. Let's see what Daniel Algadas has for his offense. He's the head coach and offensive coordinator. Robert Eggleston, the quarterback. Quick pass play, and it's caught by Baker. Baker had 2 catches and a touchdown last week against Desert from Eisenhower High School. 6 foot, 185 freshman. It's an 8-yard catch. 2nd and 2. Eggleston does have a little help with the wind. This time, he gives the ball to Freddie Fletcher.
Unfortunately, Fletcher will have to go to the sidelines because he lost his helmet. But
Fletcher, one of the smallest guys on the field at 5'6", 165, found a hole and a first down for the Wolverines. It's now 1st and 10 from the 45, trailing 14-0, 13:09 remaining in the first half. From the shotgun, Eggleston rolling to his right, and he's hit, and he's down, and he is sacked. What a play out of nowhere. What a play. I think it was Jordan Fields.
33.
Yep, Fields, a 6 foot, 200-pound defenseman from Rigetti High School, a local boy. Sophomore last week had 2 tackles and 3 assists. Notches up his first sack of the year. Loss of 9. It's 2nd and 19. Another pass play. Sidney Jeffries and Ronald Fusilier were both there, too busy playing defense to see the ball coming straight at him like a bullet.
Sidney Jeffries actually got his hands on the ball, but unfortunately could not pull it in for him.
That sack really will pump up a defense.
Well, it brings up 3rd and very long.
Ball's at the 36. Eggleston from the shotgun. He's got a little bit of time. Gets the ball off. Good coverage by Fusilier. Rashawn Ramsey, the intended receiver. I don't know, but I'm guessing they're twins because they're both freshmen. They both went to Adelanto High School. I'm just guessing. You never know. One could be a red shirt.
Yeah.
The problem is when the head coach does everything, which I think this guy does, you can't get much information because he's pretty busy. Al Gaddis wears many hats at San Bernardino Valley. The left-footed punter gets the punt off, and it bounces at the Bulldog 30-yard line where Jordan Smith lets it roll. And it rolls out of bounds.
You know, we've been complaining about the heat here for the last couple of days. Can you imagine what the heat was down in San Bernardino?
I can't, but I sort of can because I was down in L.A. last weekend for a Dodger game, and it was 100 degrees at 6 p.m. at Dodger Stadium, which is near Glendale, Pasadena, one of the L.A. valleys. I was outside, and there were like 15 people at the baseball game. By the third inning, it was half full and never filled up. It was too hot. Dodger fans, no way. 12 minutes remaining here in the first half. It's 14-0 Bulldogs. 1st and 10 from their own 27. Kennedy, the running back.
Picked up 1 yard.
He's put on a little bit of weight in the offseason, it looks like to me. I'd have to look back at the stats. It has nothing to do with his socks, but it does look like Dior Kennedy had put on a little bit of weight this year.
Yeah, so surprisingly, I look at everybody's socks nowadays.
1 yard gain on the run by Kennedy. Store, a quick pass from scrimmage, and it is a complete pass to Clay. Janaris Clay, the freshman out of Mount Zion High School, Jonesboro, Georgia.
And that's the same pass play that they did when they scored the touchdown. Only this time it wasn't Jaleel Walker that was on the reception side.
A first down for the Bulldogs, Irvin. A little bit of confidence and a lead, and the wind in the opposite direction, and the Bulldogs are moving the football up the field.
Can I get two? Yeah. Thank you.
1st and 10, Store wants to pass again. This one's downfield looking for Walker, and it's almost complete. He drops the ball. Otherwise, he had a wide open field into the end zone.
And he pats himself on the chest. He knows it was his fault.
He knew.
He should have caught that. The pass could not have been laid in there any better.
It amazes me when a wide receiver knows where the pass is, even though he can't see it. He's literally running, looking over his shoulder for a half a second, and it fell right into his chest, and he dropped it.
Let me tell you something. When you're wearing a helmet and trying to run as hard as you can, it's not easy to turn your head around and see a ball.
No way. 2nd and 10, Bulldogs up 14-0. Another
a movement in the backfield before the snap.
looks like offsides.
No, they call the play dead.
Illegal motion.
Yeah, they were a movement in the backfield.
Yep, it was Sutton. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Stewart was in trouble on that play right before the whistle as well, behind the line of scrimmage. Second and 15 from their own 35. 2 wide receivers on the near side. Storer gives it to Luquetu. He gets maybe maybe 1 yard.
And he broke the initial line of scrimmage, but the linebackers were right there, just held him, as you said, to a 1-yard gain. Between the tackles, San Bernardino has played extremely well today.
Latrell Brown coming in with the play. The sophomore out of Pender High School in Ivanhoe, North Carolina. Last week, 8 carries, 19 yards. 3rd and 13.
Looks like it's going to be timeout.
San Bernardino calls their first timeout of the first half. We will take a timeout as well with the Bulldogs leading 14-0. You are listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Bulldogs lead at 14-0 with just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. It's a 3rd and 13 for the Bulldogs from their own 37. This time, it's Kennedy. He finds a hole, he gets a first down. He's still moving on the far sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds right around the 40-yard line. Nice run by the sophomore Dior Kennedy.
When there is such a sustained rush from the defense, the two plays that you can really call to really make it difficult on them is either a draw play or a screen pass. That draw play there worked to perfection.
And he didn't go up the middle.
Started doing then cut.
Yeah, and he took a nice cut because he saw a hole. A little bit of hesitation too. Thanks, producer.
Let the blocking.
We need the producer to have a microphone because it's okay. Just say it in my ear, and I'll take credit for your smart sentences, Mr. Dill. What a run by Luquetu. He fought through, and it's another Bulldog first down.
Yes, great effort.
Wow. 2nd and 3rd. Bulldogs led 14-0 at the half against Santa Barbara. Same score here now with just under 9 minutes to play. 1st and 10 from the Wolverine 35. Storr confident to throw, and he does, and it's complete to Raymond Paolo. Raymond Paolo, he had a touchdown. That was the touchdown from, I think, Logan Mortensen last week.
Yes, it was.
The one pass that Mortensen made was a touchdown to Paolo. Paolo gets his hands on the ball for the first time today.
I mean, last week you got 4th down, like it was 4th and more than 10 yards.
And another first down for the Bulldogs.
You know he's going to throw the ball, and he still gets a touchdown.
Storr throwing with confidence today.
Yeah, the confidence is really starting to build in the Bulldogs. You can see it.
And he seems healthy. Kennedy. One of the linemen pushed his lineman into Kennedy. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
One of the defensive linemen, his teammate was in front of him, pushed him to push him into Kennedy. That's strategy right there. I don't want to go down. You take him. Well, I'm not going to take him. You take him.
A pickup of 4 yards. That's
nice run.
About 23 yards so far today for Mr. Dior Kennedy.
2nd and 7 from the 18. Luquetu.
Nowhere to go.
Traffic.
Nowhere.
3 linemen. They were waiting for him. Irvin Kiger and CJ Silas here with you. Allen Hancock College football. 2022 season is underway. We do want to thank our sponsors, California Electric Supply, Community Bank of Santa Maria, Home Motors, Oxford Suites, and American Star Trailways. Thanks so much for your support of Bulldog Athletics.
3rd down and about 8, CJ.
Brown in the backfield. Alex Sutton moving around behind the line of scrimmage.
But that was okay.
It was, and I'm pretty sure they called the timeout because they needed a little extra time. And the Bulldogs using their 2nd timeout of the first half with 6:48 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Bulldogs lead at 14-0. You are listening to Bulldog football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Bulldogs lead at 14-0. It's a 3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs. Brown in the backfield. Storer wants to throw again, and it's complete. There is a flag on the play. It looks like Janaris Clay, but there is a flag down by where the reception happened.
There was so much contact, it could be called either offense or defense.
Yes. And it was Janaris Clay, the freshman.
Defensive. Touchdown.
Oh, I can't stand when there's a touchdown with a flag like that. Then I don't call it, and the kid doesn't get this beautiful touchdown call. Can we do a do-over on that? I guess we can't. Sorry, Janaris Clay. Yeah, he'll probably just turn the volume off when he uses it for his highlight reel on his scouting page. It's the truth. First touchdown of the year of his career at Allen Hancock College, Janaris Clay, the freshman from Mount Zion High School in Jonesboro, Georgia. Point after is up, and it's good. It's 21-0. Bulldogs with the lead, leading the Wolverines of San Bernardino. You're listening to Allen Hancock College football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Janaris Clay touchdown and a Ray Serbury extra point makes it 21-0 Bulldogs.
You know, that's the 3rd time that he's gone to that particular play.
And did you notice that Storer actually had trouble with the snap but still got that pass off?
I also did notice that I really felt that it could have been offensive pass interference just as easy as it was defensive.
You're so nice because how bad I muffed up on that call.
But
I'm glad I can't cuss. But you're right. There was a lot of action going on. The kick is up. Fielded just inside the 20.
Ran a long ways going east and west.
He ran all the way across from this side of the field to that.
And picked up maybe 1 or 2 yards.
It was either Trayvon Ward or Oscar Franco. I couldn't tell if it was a 1 or a 2 on his. I love the light jerseys with the light numbers. That always helps. I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying.
But what about the multiple numbers? You know, like
right.
2 number 10s.
Oh, there's 2 number
16s.
1s, 2 number 2s, 2 3s, 2 6, 2 7, 2 8, 2 9, 2 10, 2 16, 2 18. Yeah, there are a lot of double numbers on the Wolverine squad. Well, that's what happens when you have so many numbers.
Yes, when you have so many
players.
kids.
Yep.
But they've got so many more high schools to draw from than Hancock. Hancock has, what, a dozen?
Well, that's why Hancock has so many kids coming from out of state as well,
Yeah.
plus because it's free. On a 1st and 10, it's a sack, a Bulldog sack. Manice Passe. What a sack by the freshman Passe. A little bit of help. I think Alan Aguiar was also there, the sophomore out of Woodbridge Senior High School.
That's the 3rd sack on the day, I believe, by the Bulldogs. They only had, as I said earlier, 2 last week, but defensively they're getting after.
Loss of
Eggleston.
4. Eggleston looking for a pass. I don't even know who that was for.
That was for number 31.
Oh, Fletcher.
But it was a screen pass to the left, and the Bulldogs sniffed that out right away. There was just far too many Bulldog players that started to rush, came back to cover. Ill-advised. I think that Eccleton might have been better off just either running the ball or just throwing it away. That came close to another interception.
3rd and 13 after a sack and an incompletion. Wolverines trailing 21-0 with under 6 minutes to play in the first half. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Bulldogs have 1. This one, a little bit of camaraderie going on the near sideline between the wide receiver, Rashawn Ramsey, and defensive back, Ben Endeman.
Well, it's quite obvious that the quarterback for the Wolverines is having to make far more adjustments to the weather than the quarterback for Hancock, because he's just not adapting near as well as Storer, because Storer is throwing much shorter passes instead of putting the ball in the air too much.
Looks like Vic Garnes is at the Bulldog 47 to field the punt, and there is a flag.
Too much time.
Too much time. Play clock runs out. They'll back it up. 5 yards back. So they'll start punt from the 14. Low punt by the left-footed kicker. I only say that because I'm left-footed myself. And it rolls out right around the Wolverine 45. Nice field position for the Bulldog offense.
I've never known that, though.
Which? That I'm a lefty?
Yeah.
I'm a lefty. I am a little ambidextrous on certain things. So, like, I write and I eat and I bat. Well, I write and I eat left-handed. I bat both. I switch hit. I'm not good, but I can. I mean, I have the skill, but I can't hit it. And then I can kick with both legs. Tennis, I do four hands on both sides. I don't play backhanded, so I don't play tennis. I switch the racket every time.
I do that in table tennis.
Oh, goodness.
All right, still.
Here come the Bulldogs with a 21-point lead, 5:35 remaining in the second quarter. We'll see how much passing Storer will do with a 3-touchdown lead. And he's sacked. He looked one way, looked the other, and there was Skylar Mesa to take him down behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a hard. I don't understand that last play.
I think he was a little confused because he kind of was looking around.
Yeah. The ball might have been snapped a little earlier than he thought it was going to be. Are these new uniforms for the Bulldogs?
I don't think so.
They're easy to read.
Yeah, they don't have the new logo, so I'm guessing they're waiting to spend the money to get the new logo on all the uniforms. B.J. Jordan finds a hole, runs to the far sideline, makes up for that 5-yard loss on the sack, and gets about an 11-yard run. Nice run by B.J. Jordan.
Back to the well again, another draw play. He picked up about 10 yards on that particular play. You can see once they get past that second line of defense, the linebackers, there's a lot of speed in that backfield for the Bulldogs.
3rd and 5 from the San Bernardino 40. This time, it's Allen.
It's going to bring up 4th and about 2. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the Bulldogs go for it.
Looks like they might. Storer's still out there. Ferrari Busby coming into the game. It's really bad when you can't read your own handwriting.
Well, you're left-handed, that's why.
You know, of course you have to say that. 4th and 3. Ball's on the 38-yard line in Wolverine territory, and the Bulldogs are going for it on the 4th and short.
Now they're going to call timeout.
And the Bulldogs use their last timeout of the first half with 3:36 remaining, leading at 21-0. You are listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College with 3:36 remaining in the first half. Bulldogs lead at 21-0, and they are going for it on a 4th and 3 from the Wolverine 38. Alex Sutton playing the blocking back, right behind Storer. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Clay. So now the Wolverines will take over on downs from their own 38, trailing 21-0.
Oh, I was a little surprised that pass was so far out to the side. I thought it would have been a little closer to the line of scrimmage. Yeah.
Mother Nature and her wind. It's a windy fall day, but it's a hot summer day. What do you do about that? The fall solstice doesn't happen for a couple weeks, right? Isn't it like mid-September?
Yeah. My wife's birthday, September 22nd.
Oh.
Or it would have been June's birthday.
What are we calling that?
Well,
a mess.
Like it was a quick handoff to the fullback that went absolutely nowhere actually went about 2.5, 3 yard loss.
Fletcher, the ball carrier. 16 years ago today, I put a skate bag over my shoulder and I showed up at Santa Rosa Park in San Luis Obispo, California to start my roller derby career. Isn't that crazy? 16 years. Still strapping them on.
I thought you retired.
I retired from playing, but I'm a skating referee now. It's really fun.
Okay.
It's really fun. I get to skate, and I'm a jam ref, which means I have to keep up with the jammer, so it keeps me in shape, and I don't get hit.
So we can boo you and that sort of thing.
You can totally boo me. You can call me names, and I will totally ignore you. I wear sunglasses even at night. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to see that you're saying bad things about me. Respect me. I'm wearing the stripes. Another loss on the play for the Wolverines. It's now third and 16. Eggleston in trouble. He keeps it. Takes a nosedive past Cyree Lewis, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and here comes the punting team for San Bernardino.
And nice tackle by Lewis.
With 2:03 remaining in the first half, I'm guessing they want to get to the locker room.
I would venture to think you're right.
Try to figure it out. It's not a bad football team. They just need to figure it out. 4th and 9. Eggleston made up for some lost yards. It was a 7-yard run. Batras with a kick. Bounces around the 30. Jordan Smith lets it go. And the Bulldogs offense will come on the field with 1:28 remaining in the first half and a 21-0 lead.
Yeah, I think both sides really just want to get to the locker room right now. It's been a long first half.
What are you talking about, Willis? I have no idea. What are you talking about? Come on.
Hour and 20 minutes a half.
It was a long half.
Going to be like the new changes in baseball.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Guessing they will try to run out the clock. Irvin, I could be wrong. Maybe not.
He's wide open,
Store's
too.
looking for Walker, and he finds him complete. And he's got
gone.
wide open field. Jaleel Walker, 85-yard touchdown catch for the sophomore Jaleel Walker. Open field.
What a nice route that was run. He had separation within the first 7 or 8 yards. But then again, you got to give a lot of credit to Zeke Store because he laid that ball in there pretty well for
What
him.
a nice floater.
Yes.
With the wind.
Yes. And that's why we're up here, saying that they want to get to the locker room. They come out, they score again.
I expected a run play.
So did I.
27-0 after the Walker touchdown.
And something that's very common in early season. Nobody knows who's on special teams.
Seabury coming in trying for his 4th extra point of the game. He's 6 for 6 so far this season. 3 last week, 3 today. And the kick's up. Oh,
no good.
I jinxed him. Did I jinx him?
Yeah.
I did jinx him. That's all on me. I take complete credit for that. Pressure. Lots of pressure. Lots of pressure. 27-0 Bulldogs with the lead. We will take a quick timeout with 1:16 remaining in the first half. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College with 1:16 remaining in the first half. Bulldogs with a 27-0 lead on the Wolverines, San Bernardino Valley.
Well, during that timeout, got a couple of texts from people listening.
Oh, really?
They sound good. Of course, one of them is my daughter and my son-in-law, Hannah and Michael, from Texas, Austin, Texas.
And the other one was my mom.
No, actually, it was a very good friend of mine. Well, you know him, Clancy.
Clancy fielded at the 22 by the Wolverines. They'll have about a minute, but I think they have at least one, maybe, let's see, I think they have 2 timeouts left if they want to use them. Your daughter, my mom. See how that is? Loyalty. Actually, I think we have quite a few out-of-town viewers because so many kids play from other states and their parents can't get away every weekend to come see them play football.
We have 197.
My mom and my 96 family members and your daughter.
I didn't know I had so many cousins.
Gosh, we're funny. I'm so glad we think we're funny. Eggleston. It looks like that pass was intended for Tinsley on the far sideline. Incomplete.
Oh, then one of the teachers from here, Hancock, Jeff Paul, he's listening too.
Why are you looking?
But he's not giving me any kudos.
Yeah, you're not. You and CJ are not funny.
Because I brought up the Giants.
Oh, well, he's a Dodger fan.
He's buying beers next Friday, that's for sure.
Listen, the New York Giants are a great football team. It's 2nd and 10 for the Wolverines. San Bernardino lost to Desert last week 37-20. Bulldogs beat Santa Barbara 1-0, 21-10, 21-10, and now leading 27-0. Another incomplete pass.
Yes, last week against Santa Barbara, they were their own worst enemy in the first half. Twice inside the red zone, missed a field goal, and then they tried to throw a pass on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line and deflected off somebody, and it was an interception.
Zeke Store was hurt last year early on. He didn't get to play the full season. By the end of the season, we had a wide receiver here at Hancock playing quarterback.
McCoy.
And Store seems like he's matured. He's got patience in the pocket.
He played 7 games last year.
And the whole offense seems more cohesive for the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
more chemistry, more support, patient.
Yeah, I mean they've tried a lot of different things, and they've gone back to what's worked.
53.9 seconds remaining here in first half. It's a 4th and 10 for the Wolverines. Vic Garnes at the Bulldog 41.
It's roll back.
It was a tough snap, and it bounces at the Wolverine 42. Botras was lucky to even get that ball after the snap. Another short punt for the Wolverines.
About a 20-yard punt, 21-yard punt.
I'll be interested to see those stats thanks to Brandon Robertson from the first half. Punt stats. I don't want to jinx it. Penalty stats. Oh, he kicked over his own soda. Here comes the Bulldog offense with 44.7 seconds left here in the first half, leading 27-0. Storr under center. Sutton's a blocking back. Storr wants to pass again. This time downfield looking for Paolo, and he finds him complete inside the 10-yard line. Raymond Paolo.
I guess if it's not broken, you keep going to it, right?
Wow.
Keep going to the well.
It only took 7 seconds into the red zone. 1st and goal. Bulldogs lead at 27-0.
1st and goal from the
5-yard line. And into the ball game comes John Allen with the plays.
I can't remember the last time we have actually, and we've been doing games for 11 years, you and I together, and I did them for many years prior to that, where Hancock has had so many long passes.
No, I can't remember a single. Not one season, not one game. It shows what Damron's doing and who he's bringing in. This pass intended for Walker.
I just got up in the air and just.
Yep. It was nice defense.
Yeah. Great defense.
Good coverage. Good coverage by Malik Reed, the freshman from Rialto High School. And there's a flag on the play.
So it's going half the distance to the goal, so they're 2.5 yards out.
Just under 27 seconds remaining.
And no timeouts for Hancock, correct?
Nope. And Storr goes to the sideline along with Ferrari Busby to get the play. Busby, 5'6", 180 freshman from Vegas.
He's quick, too.
Sutton lining up behind Storr as the blocking back. 1st and goal from the 3. Pass was intended for Clay. Good coverage by Isaac Mendoza, the freshman DB out of Norco High School.
That was very good coverage. He got a hand in there and knocked it down.
2 nice defensive plays by the Wolverines.
Because, I mean, that was a pass that's worked 3 times so far today. That down about 4 yards and crossing into the middle.
Walker on the far sideline. Paulo on the near sideline. Split wide receivers with Jordan in the backfield. Right off the numbers. Little bit of talking going on between Walker and the DB. They'll line up against each other again.
So they're going forward on.
Yep. Same. No, it's 3rd. It's 3rd and short. Same formation with John Allen in the backfield. This time, touchdown, Raymond Paolo. 3-yard touchdown catch by the sophomore out of Leon High School in Pago Pago. Second touchdown of the season. Right? He's the one.
Yes, it
I'll
is.
never forget that one from Logan Mortensen last week. That one play.
So Paulo so far today has got 3 receptions for 55 yards. Walker 2 receptions for 105. He's broke that 100-yard marker twice now.
Seabury coming in with the point after. It's 33-0 late in the second quarter. Kicks up. This one is good. It is 34-0. Bulldogs with the lead. Just under 14 seconds remaining here in the first half. We'll take a quick timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Bulldog Football. Hancock leads at 34-0. Seth Damron talking to his offensive squad, along with Chris Dutra, the associate head coach. A little bit of yelling going on the Bulldog sideline, and it wasn't happy yelling. Let's just say that. They've got a 34-0 lead, but there's definitely some passion on the Bulldog bench. Seabury with a nice kick. Fielded inside the 10 by Nemorcio Jackson. Still on his feet. Tackled at the 24. And there's 5.2 seconds on the clock.
So enough for one play. And
Yep, one play. Cade Bruckman wearing a different number this year. He's wearing 42. You know I noticed that because it's Jackie Robinson's number. Cade, a sophomore for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 from the 24. The Wolverines. Eggleston from the shotgun. Right away, Fletcher finds a hole. Up the middle, he's tackled inside the 35, and that will do it. After 1 half of play, the Bulldogs with an overpowering lead, 34-0. We will head to the locker room and bring you all the stats from the first half. For Irvin Kiger, I'm CJ Silas. Thank you to our executive producer, Brian Dill. It's the Bulldogs walking in to the locker room with a 34-0 lead. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Allen Hancock College football. After one half of play, the Bulldogs are leading it 35-0. Looks like you have some interesting stats, Irvin Kiger.
Yes, I do, CJ. And we're going to start with the team stats to begin with. I mean, the stats bear the fact that the Wolverines are down by 35 points. Total yards, they have 36. Total yards. The Bulldogs.
What, you mean offensively completely? Like
offensively completely.
Passing or running or combined?
They have 27 through the air and 9 on the ground.
Wow.
The Bulldogs have, on the other hand, 290 yards, total yards, 199 yards through the air, and
they didn't come out of the locker room.
91 yards on the ground.
They haven't come out of the locker room.
Well, yeah, I know. I understand that.
I haven't seen this before.
First downs, 3.
Where's the other team?
By San Bernardino, 12.
Oh, here they come. Whoa.
By the Bulldogs.
That's weird. The Bulldogs are on the field ready to receive the kickoff, and
will they throw a flag?
Is there a flag on that? Is there a penalty? Let's see. Wow, I have never seen that before.
Well, obviously the coach is distraught.
And they're not running out fast. It's not urgent. I'm sorry I cut you off, but I didn't know where they were. I thought, whoa, okay, keep going, Irvin. I'll be quiet now.
Three. Yeah, that'll be the day. 3 first downs by the Wolverines, 12 by the Bulldogs. Third down efficiency, 0 of 10 for the Wolverines, 4 of 9 for the Bulldogs at 44%. Fourth down, of course, is 0-0 for the Wolverines and 0 for 1 of the Bulldogs.
It doesn't even look like the whole team has come out yet. They're putting their helmets on. They're finishing their sandwiches.
See,
and they're heading back out.
What did I tell you? She would shut up. What did I tell you? Why do I do this job?
Brian turned off my mic now.
Obviously, it's the money that I'm making is the only reason I keep coming back. Storer for the Bulldogs is 9 of 19 for 199 yards, 4 touchdowns. That looks good on a resume, doesn't it? B.J. Jordan rushing is 5 yards for 58, or 5 carries for 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Kennedy, 5 carries for 22 yards. Lekutu, 5 carries for 8 yards. Busby, 1 for 5. And it's been a long time since we've seen the Bulldogs have better passing than the opposing team. Jaleel Walker has got 2 receptions for 105 yards. Parley has got 3 for 55. Clay has 2 for 30. Saltero 1 for 9. The Bulldogs just completely dominated that first half. And when the tardiness of the Wolverines coming out,
no penalty flag.
The coach had a lot to say.
Wow. Kick is up. We will start the second half. It rolls out of bounds.
Yeah, it's like rubbing salt in the wound.
Right around the 5-yard line. This is an odd situation, Irvin. I haven't seen this before.
Well, San Bernardino and Hancock, I think this is the 9th time they've played. Hancock's won 5 out of the 8 so far. As Brian was talking, they had a bowl game at Rigetti a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I know there was, at the end of the game, there was no handshaking.
I remember that game.
Both sides were jawing quite a bit.
All right, Bulldogs, their first offensive series of the second half with a 34-0 lead. And it looks like Logan Mortensen is the play caller for the Bulldogs, the freshman out of Rigetti High School, calling the plays under center for the Bulldogs with a 34-point lead.
This will be interesting. Mortensen is left-handed, throws a really nice pass.
Oh, you're not going to insult him being a lefty, but you're going to insult me being a lefty?
Wrong armor. Hey, I always wanted to be left-handed. So.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You use 2 forehands in tennis?
I always wanted to be rich, too, but that didn't happen either.
7-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd and 3 from the 42.
That
Kennedy
maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, eh?
Was B.J. Jordan carrying the ball for the Bulldogs.
I honestly think that you will see a lot of different Bulldogs in this game in the second half, too.
Actually, it was Dior Kennedy. And here comes Luketu. And I'm guessing, as well as you, that it's going to be a lot of running plays.
Yeah, speed the game up.
In this second half. It's 3rd and 2 from the 43-yard line. The wind has picked up here in Santa Maria, California. Welcome back into second half of play. Luquetu, the ball carrier. And here comes Cody Hall in with the punting team.
Hortzman, though, nice defensive play there. He just came right in and threw him for a loss. We have to take into consideration that we do have, I'm sure, listeners from San Bernardino, and try to give them kudos when it's due.
Cornelius Gardner, who's now wearing 11 today rather than 27, is back to field the punt. He's at the 20. He lets it bounce at the 25-yard line, and it gets a Bulldog roll for sure.
All the way to the 10-yard line.
15-yard roll.
About 45-yard punt. The Bulldogs come out for the first time defensively here in the second half. Yeah, when I make the comment they're going to speed the game up, it means that they're just going to keep running the ball and keep that clock ticking.
And if you notice, it's quite a few different players on defense for the Bulldogs as well. Antonio Fisher. Quite a few new DBs. Davion Jackson. Kamari Lewis Stallworth.
Endeman.
Ray Endeman. Ben Endeman. And there's a new quarterback.
A new quarterback, yes, there is.
Dylan Wheatley.
6'3", 220-pound freshman from Redlands, California, in Citrus Valley. Citrus Valley High School.
Lots of changes on both sides of the ball, opening up this second half. Fletcher, the ball carrier.
That was his nicest run of the night, right there. He picked up a first down right there. Once Fletcher broke that first line of defense, he just turned on the afterburners. These kids, he's quick.
First down for the Wolverines, trailing 34-0. Jalen Matthews with a big catch for the Wolverines. Caught and then crossing the midfield line right at the 50. 30-yard reception for Jalen Matthews, the sophomore out of San Gorgonio High School in San Bernardino.
And Wheatley just laid that pass right between the linebackers and the defensive backs. There was a bit of an open space there. He laid it right in there. Nice pass, nice catch.
Trailing 34-0. Wheatley now, the play caller. This time, he gives it to Fletcher again. Another nice run for Fletcher, gaining about 8.
I mean, Fletcher's just more than doubled the offensive rushing so far here in the first drive for the Wolverines.
Second and 3 for San Bernardino. Wheatley from the shotgun. Pass intended for Matthews.
Devin Guja on the coverage there. Nice place by Guja. It's like learning teams all over again, isn't it? They come out, there's so many changes.
A lot of new numbers on the field defensively, also offensively for the Wolverines. 3rd and 3. Wheatley. That pass intended for Matthews again, and now it'll be a 4th and short. Let's see if we see special teams coming onto the field, Irvin, or
it looks like Wheatley's staying out there.
Going to stay out there and go for it on a 4th and 3.
I mean, you're down 34-0. Yeah.
Lots of talking coming from the Bulldog sideline to their defense. Wheatley, another pass. This time it's caught, and a 1st down for the Wolverines, Rashawn Ramsey.
And Ramsey just got, as we said earlier, for the Bulldogs, got his body between the defender and the ball.
Davion Jackson, the defensive back.
And Wheatley just laid that right in there for a 1st down. Yeah, Brian, our producer, said, I mean, you're down 34-0. Why not go for it? And I agree with him 100%.
First and 10 from the Bulldog 35. Wheatley back to pass again, and he is nearly sacked. And then he found a way to get a shovel pass off to Jalen Matthews. He didn't even use his full arm.
No, it's almost like a
push pass.
Almost like a pass in basketball.
Right, yeah, chest pass.
Two-handed chest pass. But hey, he got the job done, didn't he?
Wow. Somebody had him in his grasp. I think it was Kahari Upshaw.
Flag goes up. The Bulldogs are going to be offside. This is a free play. The ball is caught, but I believe it was out of bounds.
I think he was out of bounds, yeah. What? Did you hear that?
The penalty resulted in a 1st down.
All right. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines on the Bulldogs 21 with 9:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's 34-0 Hancock.
I thought it was 1st down already anyway.
Maybe we have a new crew.
Early
new
season.
Defense, new offense, new refs. Bringing in the 2nd team.
This time there's no getting away.
This is a sack by the Bulldogs. Wheatley. Andrew Lauritsen, we haven't said his name much today, and he was a big-time defender last year for the Bulldogs. He and Kahari Upshaw. Looks like they split a sack on Wheatley.
That could have been split amongst about 4 or 5 ways.
Yeah, how do you make that decision?
It's a spotter who bought the bottle of booze for it. Which father was the nicest?
Stop. Wheatley, another pass. This one for Ramsey. Incomplete.
Yeah, it can be easy for Wheatley coming out. He hasn't thrown the ball. I mean, the wind is considerably more now than it was during the warm-ups. But the kids come out and done a pretty good job.
Third and 14 from the 25. Dylan Wheatley passing on almost every play.
That particular play.
That was Jalen Matthews again.
Yeah, but I think he threw the ball into the ground, just threw it away because the defense was right there. And the last thing he wanted to do was turn the ball over for San Bernardino.
The crowd stayed.
Yeah.
And it got cooler.
All 150 of them?
Did you count them, Irvin? Irvin, you counted them, didn't you?
It didn't take long. Is high school football this way now where they don't get the crowds like they used to?
Oh, no, they get the crowds. Depending on the town, they do. Here they get them.
Oh,
That
bad,
pass.
that's bad luck. I mean, pass was right there.
Looking for Rashawn Ramsey.
I think if you talk to Rashawn, he would say, I should have caught that.
Yeah, yeah. 8:34 remaining in the third quarter.
Bit of
The
spark,
turnover on downs for the Bulldogs coming on to the field with their offense.
but a bit of spark put into the Wolverines. I mean, it made the
Little
game
bit.
a little more interesting.
Yeah, and they move the ball up the field.
Yes, they did.
Mortensen, the play caller. Dior Kennedy or B.J. Jordan?
About a yard and a half, 2-yard gain. Number 5.
Here comes in John Allen. B.J. Jordan's the kid from Lenore Rhine High School in Burgaw, North Carolina.
He's a long way from home.
A lot of kids on this squad are from out of town. Looks like Julia Walker, I don't know if he was hurt or just frustrated, but he gets up and he looks fine.
Nice defensive play.
It was. He was right in between Walker and the ball, exactly where he's supposed to be.
Yeah. A little jawing between the cornerback over here on this side, the sidelines for the Bulldogs. Oh, San Bernardino was ready for that draw. There was just absolutely nowhere to go.
Fourth down for the Bulldogs. Up by 34 with 7:20 remaining. A lot of new faces on the field. Defensively as well, the cornerback you were talking about was Carlos Jacob Isaac. Fair catch at the 45. Cornelius Gardner with the fair catch.
But he let the ball bounce and it went all the way down to the 32-yard line.
It's almost like there's two new football teams on the field.
Well, the Bulldogs did start out the game much the same as they have so far. I mean, the first couple drives were pretty non-existent.
The Wolverines will take over now.
That last drive, the Wolverines did pick up 4 first downs.
It looked a lot different than it did in the first half with the new quarterback. Wheatley having a little more success
Yeah, Ramsey there
right away. Yep.
did have some separation. Unfortunately, Wheatley could not lay it in there for him.
Second and 10 from the 32. Wolverines trying to decrease a 34-point deficit with a new quarterback in and Dylan Wheatley facing a lot of new defenders for the Bulldogs. A lot of freshmen on the field right now for Hancock. Fletcher again, the ball carrier. He finds a little bit of hole. He gets out to that first down marker. We'll see where they mark it, but he could have a Wolverine first down.
Yeah, it's close.
A little bit short. No huddle offense. Wheatley in the shotgun. Once again, Fletcher with the ball. And he gets the first down. Freddie Fletcher. Do you have his stats from the first half? I just want to.
I'm just picking him up right now.
Is that what you're doing? Isn't that funny? We're both thinking about the same thing.
So far to date, Fletcher's run the ball 11 times for 39 yards.
He's down, and his helmet is off, so they'll have to get him off the field. Yeah, it looks like he is cramping. You can kind of tell how he's trying to stretch out his legs. It was real hot when they first got here and were warming up before the game. First half was super hot, and now there's a little bit of wind and some cloud cover. Yeah, he's got a cramp in his left leg. He lost his helmet. He has to be out for a play anyway. It's a 1st and 10 for the Wolverines from their own 43.
So far, Wheatley this half is 3 of 10 for 47 yards. So
they've already bettered the whole first half stat.
That's correct.
Sheet from what the Wolverines did earlier.
I mean, they've picked up 5 first downs.
And more yards, right? Yeah. More yards than the entire first half.
Right, they only had 3 at halftime.
Yeah. Another pass. This one to Pollard. Complete for another Wolverine first down.
And the Wolverines right now are finding that seam. And Wheatley's laying it in there, and they're just picking up yard after yard through the air.
That's a new defensive back we hadn't seen out earlier in the game, Mason Midget. Mason Midget, 6'2", 225. Freshman from Aurora, Colorado. Oh, that's another play intended for Brother Ramsey.
Pass a little behind him. Not much opportunity for him to catch the ball. Brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Wolverines. As you're busy writing down.
Midget is a transfer from UC Boulder. Trying to get my I'm trying to get my depth chart going because they're all new defensive backs and a couple same defensive linemen, but most of the squad in the Hancock jerseys are playing for the first time. That hurt Hunter Beitler.
Yeah, Beitler had nowhere to go, did he? Met at the line of scrimmage and driven back.
He's actually one of their bigger running backs at 5'10", 175. A loss on the play. 5 minutes remaining in the third. It's still 34-0 Bulldogs. Wheatley and the Wolverines moving down the field a little bit easier this quarter so far in the game.
All right, there's a flag on the play, but that particular pass play, there was a couple of defenders out there that were closer to the ball than the receiver.
Oh, yeah, there were 3. Ramsey, the intended receiver.
All right, there's two separate penalties.
Totally different places, yep.
Yeah.
One's behind the line of scrimmage,
and one's
on the far side, yeah. Chop block against the Wolverines and holding against the Bulldogs. Offsetting penalties. Wow, a chop block. You don't see that very often.
No, I mean,
you're not supposed to. It's dangerous.
One's 15 and one's 5. And
how'd that work?
They still.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see the chop block, did you?
No, I did not.
Still 3rd and 14. Wolverines have the ball on the Bulldog 42. Wheatley again looking for a pass. It's complete. Not enough for a first down.
One receiver.
DeMario Jackson.
Clears out the other. The one that's on the outside goes down about 4 yards. Cuts inside. And received that pass, but unfortunately could not get any closer than what he did. He's what, about 5 yards short?
A decoy.
A decoy? Yeah. He just cleared out the area.
Yeah.
No defenders in there.
Yeah. Defense definitely looks a little bit
bend but not
confused.
break.
Yeah.
All right, that was nice. That was
DeMarcus Avery, the intended receiver. And on the 4th down incompletion, the Bulldogs will take over on downs from their own 34-yard line.
and kudos to Enderman. He's the one that broke up that pass, stuck a hand in there, knocked it down.
Ben Enderman, Radford High School, Halawa, Hawaii. Halawa, Hawaii.
The Bulldogs have been getting a few players from Hawaii, haven't they, in the last couple of years?
And the American Samoa a lot. If you notice the cheers in the pregame and at halftime,
Yes, I did.
were Hawaiian chants or Samoan chants. I don't know. I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's almost like what the New Zealand rugby team does, the All Blacks. The Maori? Very intimidating. I don't know, have you ever seen it? When the All Blacks line up
No.
at midfield and they all, in their native tongue, and dance. And
I'm going to look for that.
yeah, it's impressive before every All Black game.
And, let's be honest. We've never seen the Bulldogs do this either before the game and at halftime.
No,
And
you're absolutely right.
And it's a chemistry builder. It's a team building. It's cohesive. It shows brotherhood. It really does. And it's working for the Bulldogs today. And I forgot what it's called. It's a Hawaiian chant.
Well,
And we were told at halftime, and I already forgot the word. I'm going to find out right now because I'm that intuitive. I mean,
that was 15 minutes ago. Obviously, you can't expect me to remember. Third down and about 7 for the Bulldogs. They have not moved the ball very well this half.
I'm not even going to try to pretend I know what that is.
Oh. It's incomplete pass.
Yeah, it looked like he had it, but I don't know if he had full possession of it that they could call it a fumble.
Yeah.
It hit him in his numbers, but he was going down at the same time. I don't think he had control of the ball. That's why they're not calling it a fumble. It was intended for Janaris Clay, who, by the way, I want to have a touchdown the second half so I can get his call right. So remind me to really kill it when he gets his touchdown.
Well, the young man just got popped right there.
I know. So he's all right.
Third punt of the half for the Bulldogs.
3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 4th and 7 on their own 37. Cody Hall comes in. The wind is back up. And I think Cornelius Gardner is back at the 25 for San Bernardino. Yep. Bounces at the 35 and rolls all the way down to the 21-yard line. Nice punt for Hall. That was a quick set of downs for the Bulldogs. 3 and out.
I mean, I don't think they have a first down in the second half. They had 12 at halftime. They still have 12.
The officials just changed the ball on the field.
Well, that's because each team supplies their own ball.
Yep. It's so funny how hot it was when we got here, and it's actually getting chilly now. That was such a quick change.
Brian's in a long sleeve sweatshirt.
He's ready. I have a jacket, but it's in the car. Where's Jose? Just kidding. Jose is our runner today on the football broadcast, and we haven't needed him for anything. I feel bad. Maybe I'll have him go get my jacket. He's supposed to be helpful, and poor kid just, well, he's getting to sit there and enjoy the football game, but and I feel like I want to give him some purpose. He's like, yeah, my purpose, just to sit here, CJ. Don't give me anything to do. I'm having a good time watching the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, don't call me out now. Someone's going to ask me to do something.
It'll be the only time we see Jose for the rest of the
Right,
year.
he's like, I'm not working for that lady again. The cool thing about intercollegiate athletics, not just city college and junior college, but Division I, all the kids on all the other sports work the events. So the event staff here is baseball, soccer, football. Not football, sorry, basketball. And they do it vice versa because we have a lot of football players that come and work softball and baseball.
I mean, in years past, you could certainly tell who was running the chains.
Yes, remember? We didn't want to give them the credit, but baseball was the worst team at doing the chains.
Yeah.
Remember? They were awful. Clearly, they're not allowed to do it anymore. Alex Frapart, who's running the baseball squad for the event staff, he actually runs a lot of the events with CJ. He wasn't here when the baseball team did the sticks.
Horrible.
It was the worst year for first down markers in the history of Hancock football is when the Bulldog baseball team ran that part of the event.
I mean, you could even venture to say they didn't care.
Now, soccer's taken over on the sticks. Coaches, serious. That one intended for Freddie Fletcher. This kid's been running around all day long.
Yeah.
He's one of the main targets.
Fletcher ran a wheel route and came around out around the right flank, and unfortunately the ball was overthrown.
Only 1 yard gain on this set of downs for the Wolverines with 1:12 remaining in the third. It's 4th and 9.
The first punt this half for San Bernardino.
And Jordan Smith is back at the Bulldog 47. Brian Bottress busy as the kicker and the punter. He got that one off. It actually had some movement. And Smith calls a fair catch right at midfield.
Caught it like an outfielder. His hands over his helmet.
Bulldogs offense coming onto the field. Have the Bulldogs had a first down?
No, they haven't. They've 3 and out so far this second half.
Mortensen under center, gives it to Jordan. Jordan runs into a group. No gain on the play.
Yeah, between the tackles, there's not been a whole lot of yardage for the Bulldogs.
It was gain of 1. Mortensen looking for Collins Petaway. Collins Petaway is a freshman out of Richmond High School in Mobile, Alabama. He and Osiris Smith, the wide receivers in the game, both freshmen. And another penalty against the Bulldogs.
It'll be, 3rd and 9 if they decline the penalty?
Yep, they did decline it. Third and 9 for the Bulldogs, 26.6 left on the clock here in the third. This one's complete to Petaway.
And I believe that's the first pass that's been completed by Mortensen in the second half.
Whoa. Petaway, Smith. Seeing action here in the second half with Logan Mortensen as the play caller. And the third quarter will come to a close. Neither team scored. It was kind of an ugly quarter, let's just be honest.
Yes, it really was. And I got a bit of interest tidbit when we come back.
When we come back, right now, Bulldogs still lead at 34-0. We've got one more quarter of play. You're listening to Bulldog Football live from Santa Maria, California on athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. We will get underway here with a penalty at the opening.
And there goes that fourth and short. We'll now send the punt team out.
Oh, goodness.
So what I was alluding to just before
you've got a statistic that we are all waiting.
It's not a statistic. It's some information. The chant is called the haka. And back in 98 and 99, the Bulldogs used to do the chants when George Heather played.
Wow. And he's a coach. That's why. He's a coach now.
The information is from my
That's
daughter,
awesome. Thank you to
Hannah,
the Kiger family,
Hannah
the
Martz.
listener. It wasn't from my mother, I'll tell you that. Cody Hall. Thank you, Hannah. It's so bizarre now that Hannah lives here in Santa Maria. For so many years, I would ask you how she was doing, and she was somewhere else. So it's nice that she's here.
She's in Texas.
Oh, I thought she was here. Oh, it's only your son's here. She visits, though. She's listening in Texas?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. Actually, she was listening at work, but I won't say where she worked so they can't get her in trouble.
Okay, please don't. But she was somewhere else before Texas, wasn't she?
She was in Arizona for a while.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay. I'm not as smart as I look, Irvin. I tell you that you continue to tell me I'm smart, and I continue to tell you that I'm not. 34-0, Bulldogs with the lead. Just getting underway here in the fourth quarter.
I mean, other than that first drive or so by San Bernardino, it's kind of been a quarter that's forgettable.
Right, and that's why we're trying to start a new quarter here, and we started right away with a penalty.
Yeah.
Dylan Wheatley is the quarterback, in case you're just joining us. Robert Eggleston called the plays in the first half for San Bernardino Valley, the sophomore, now a freshman and getting his shot from Citrus Valley High School in Redlands. He's not afraid to throw the ball, that's for sure. He has a pretty good arm.
Yes, he does.
That was Ramsey, the intended receiver.
Unfortunately for Mr. Eggleston today, he was 2 of 22 for 21 yards.
That is not a good line score.
Certainly. And another
penalty against the Bulldogs. And an automatic first down. It's a completely different half of football. I'm glad they didn't change the broadcasters like they changed the lineups on the field. Do you want to do play-by-play? No. That's a complete pass to Rashawn Ramsey.
The ball pops out, but Ramsey was down already.
Yep, but the whistle was late.
But enough for a first down. .57 and counting here in the fourth quarter.
First and 10, Wolverines. That was a near first down. Hit him right in the numbers, the wide receiver, but he couldn't hold on to it.
Geez, that kind of look-in pass where the receiver goes down and then cuts like a post going towards the post has been open all day for both sides.
.43 remaining in the game. Bulldogs with a 34-0 lead. Neither team has scored here in the second half. Wheatley. Another pass. It was a little bit over the head of the wide receiver. Had a pretty good vertical, but not high enough to make the play.
But Wheatley did throw the ball where only the receiver could catch it. There was no way that the defender was going to be able to go up and intercept it.
And that was Ikolu Matthias, the defensive back.
And the receiver is down still.
He's on the field too. They're going to play it. Yep, he's off the field. Here we go. 3rd and 10.
If you can get her, get her.
That's what we say in roller derby. Oh, what a sack. Wheatley is down, and he is definitely not well. PJ Maui-Goa and AJ Masuna.
Is he grabbing his ankle or?
I hope not.
Or his knee?
With the injury on the field, we'll take a quick timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Dylan Wheatley walked off the field on his own. That's always good news.
Number 3 is the quarterback now?
DeMarcus Avery. DeMarcus Avery is the quarterback. On the keeper,
He
6-yard run.
Yeah, 5-6 yard run on 1st down. That's always great news.
What? 5-yard gain on the play. Pass play up the middle, incomplete.
Another penalty came in.
Another penalty flag and defensive back is down. I think that's Ikolu Matthias, but he got up. He did lose his helmet, so he has to leave the field for a play. Penalty against the Bulldogs.
He came in and hit the player as he was going down?
Yep. It's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down. It's getting a little, what's the word? Chippy.
Yes.
Chippy. Another flag. This time, it was Jeff Simeon who was chasing the quarterback, and there was a flag thrown.
He pushed him down after he'd thrown the pass.
Yep.
Roughing the passer.
That's Jeff Simeon from South Dade Senior High School.
There comes a point where you got to really be smart about this.
And we'll see how long he stays on the field. He's gone. Another automatic 1st down. 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from the 12. Avery, still the quarterback. And he gets sacked by PJ Maui-Goa. and Dylan Speece. What a different half of football. It's almost like two different teams came out. Avery's in the shotgun on the 2nd and 14. Looking to the end zone, overthrew both receivers that were there.
And I think the wind just caught that, just it took it out of bounds. But you know, it's difficult for this quarterback right now because they're going to be throwing the ball 75 to 80% of the time minimum. And so those defensive linemen and who's ever rushing is just putting their ears back and just heading straight for the quarterback.
Third and 14. There even looks like there's confusion in between the plays. Avery, he's in trouble, but he gets a play off. And another late hit. I saw it happen. That was Dylan Speece again. Roughing the passer. Damron having a few words with his lineman. A little conversation for the lineman from George Heather, defensive line coach. It's now first and goal.
That was a tough pass for the quarterback because he's trying to throw back across his body.
And he had two big guys right in his face. Oh, goodness. Starting to look a little bit. Abraham Montero on the tackle. Another Wolverine is down at official timeout.
Was this a ball carrier?
Yes. Yeah, we'll take a quick timeout with an injury on the field. The Bulldogs lead at 34-0 with 11:36 remaining in the game. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. The Bulldogs lead at 34-0. 11:36 remaining in the game. Both squads have at least half of their players on the field did not play in the second half.
I mean, it's a third-string quarterback for San Bernardino.
Yeah, and he was playing wide receiver earlier in the game as well. I don't have that guy on the roster, so I don't know who that was, that receiver.
Jim Shorts.
Yes. You're the one who taught me that, and did you know I used it at Cal Poly this year?
Did you?
Yeah, the alumni game, a guy came on the mound to pitch, and I didn't know who it was, and I called him Jim Shorts, and then one of his mom or someone yelled out, "It's Casey Bloomquist," or whoever it was. It was pretty funny. Third and goal. Avery scrambling a little bit.
That's not Avery's fault. That should have been a touchdown. The ball was dropped by the wide receiver.
He had his hands right on the ball.
Now, my partner in crime, C.J. Silas, also does Cal Poly baseball in San Luis Obispo. Have you seen what Brooks Lee has done so far?
In the minors in for the Minnesota Twins?
He's gone from rookie ball up to high A.
I know, really fast.
Yeah.
We kind of knew that was going to happen, didn't we? Yeah, Avery went from wide receiver to you're in the game right now. Tripped. He got away from a few of the defensive linemen, and the ball went right through the hands of Raheem Ramsey. And you know who was behind him? Was Fletcher.
Who got a hand on the ball.
Actually, Matthews, yeah, he was behind him. It could have been an assist for Ramsey.
If Ramsey hadn't caught the ball.
Touched it, yeah.
Fletcher would have had a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was fourth down. Now it brings up first down for the Bulldogs, deep in their own territory. 8-yard line.
The Bulldogs take over on downs with a 34-0 lead. And it is Logan Mortensen in as the QB for the Bulldogs. Rigetti High School product. He did throw that touchdown last week to Raymond Polo. John Allen, the ball carrier.
See, Mortensen's used to playing on a field that goes east to west. You don't see many high school football fields that go east to west because of the sun.
And Rigetti is different.
Yes.
That's where we started together. You and I, Hancock was playing at Rigetti.
Yes.
11 years ago, Irvin.
But the first game was my favorite stadium, Santa Barbara.
Ah, yes, we were on the road.
Which is actually the oldest junior college in California.
And it's the nicest stadium in California. It's the nicest football stadium for college football, for any football, any level of football.
Well, I mean, you've been up to the University of Washington. It's much the same.
It is. It's on a lake as opposed to Santa Barbara on the coast with all the sailboats. It's just beautiful. Yeah, they put us outside. Remember, they had all the room in the press box, and they still made us sit outside.
Yeah, because some family had that big press box reserved.
Come on, please. Every year we sit outside there, and every year there's room for us. It's all right. I'm not mad about it. It's a nice day usually. 3rd and 8. Mortensen looking for Jacob Burr, the wide receiver.
And Jacob Burr turned into a defender right there because that ball was going to be intercepted, and he stuck his hands around and knocked it down. A quick 3 and out for the Bulldogs.
Wow. I feel like I'm at a different game.
Well, I'm having fun with my...
It is fun.
They have not had a first down this half.
Do you love your new stat machine?
Oh, yeah, I love
Thank
it.
you to Brian Dill and Brandon Robertson for live stats for Irvin Kiger. It's really cool.
Well, I like the idea that Brian Dill made the font real big.
Cody Hall with a punt that rolls up to the 40-yard line.
And the arrow real dark.
Whoa, that is big font. Jeez. Treating you like you're in your 60s or something.
I wish I was.
Just under 10 minutes to play. Nobody has scored in this half.
No.
And no first down in this quarter.
I have done games similar like this with Brad Manberto. In the second half, we were talking about the cookies that the president at
we're not
College of the Canyons gave us.
We are not talking about the cookies, except remember Halloween? The candy? It was College of the Canyons.
No, it was Cerritos.
Cerrito, oh my gosh, the candy. They were just pumping us with candy.
We were talking 90 miles an hour.
I know. I don't eat candy anymore, thank goodness. 1st and 10. Avery back at quarterback.
Nice pass.
This time it's a complete pass. It's a complete pass to DeMauricio Jackson.
Now, at halftime, it was 12 first downs to Hancock, 3 to San Bernardino. Now it's 15 to San Bernardino and 12 to Hancock.
15 first downs in both halves for the whole game so far. But Hancock hasn't had one this half.
No, they've only had 12 total.
That's what I meant. 2nd and 5. Avery in trouble. He's in trouble again. He gets away from him, scurries away from 2 different tackles. He keeps it, and gets a first down, and he's still moving. Runs out of bounds right near the 20-yard line. DeMarcus Avery, probably the best run we've seen for all 3 quarterbacks this game.
At one point, yeah. Very elusive he was.
He showed you the wide receiver that he can be as he's playing quarterback.
But I mean, he was hit a couple times by Bulldogs and not brought down.
Yeah, he sure escaped a few big tackles.
One thing, though, you look at the first downs. San Bernardino has had 6 first downs by penalty.
Wow.
So it's not going to be 85 yards for Hancock this week.
I don't even know what to call that.
That was it. Let's get rid of the ball and not let anybody intercept it.
Yeah. Just throw it towards a receiver, towards somebody that could catch it. A legal receiver. $8:25 remaining. I feel like I don't want to say the score again because it hasn't changed. I'm not talking about cookies, though. And it is. There's a graphic right on the screen. So if you left the room to eat, don't worry. It's still 34-0.
Not much has changed, that's for sure.
Thanks to Brian Dill, though, the graphic is up there. Before Brian came on and we were doing it, I had to announce the time and score and everything every other down because that was the only way people could know it. But then we brought in a professional like Brian Dill, and now I don't really have to say the score because he's got it on the graphic. He's got 3 cameras, one just for the scoreboard. Looks like it's live stats with the Sony HD. Ladies and gentlemen, Canon and Sony all represented on the Ellen Hancock College football broadcasts. What are our headphones? Audio Technica. I like to give credit where credit is due. This one.
It could go all the way.
This one is intercepted. Aaron Small Jr. intercepts it, and he could go all the way. 66-yard pick 6 for the freshman Aaron Small Jr. out of P.K. Yonge High School in Gainesville, Florida. And what a reception he's getting on the Bulldog sideline. Don't hurt him.
Yeah, he needs oxygen more than anything else right now.
What a play by the defensive back, 6'3", 205.
I mean, you could see that coming. It was like he was playing center field.
66-yard pick 6 for a score. It's now 40-0. We were kind of hoping that the scoreboard would change so the people in the kitchen didn't have to miss it.
Well, Avery, unfortunately, when he rolls to his left, he tries to throw back across his body, which is not easy to do. And he floated that ball up there, and you could see the center fielder there just waiting to catch the ball. And once he got it, you could see there was open ground all the way.
Kick is up. Point after is good. It's now 41-0 with 7:42 remaining in the game. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Bulldogs put another touchdown on the board. This one was a defensive back who hadn't seen much action with a 66-yard interception for a touchdown. A pick
No, wait,
six.
it's got to be more than 66 yards.
It wasn't at the oh, I'm sorry. It was at the 34 after the penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, 90 yards. Thank you. That's why we have such a nice crack staff up here. The scoreboard had it from the 34, so there we go. I try to trust the scoreboard, I really do. But it's 90, and that's even better for Aaron Small Jr.
The line scrimmage was at 34.
Got it. Thank you. So I did the math.
Not well.
No, I did the math right. I had the placement of the interception wrong. Everybody's losing it. The second string is in the broadcast booth.
That's true.
Dang, it's the first mistake I've ever made in my life. How did it look? Did I handle it professionally?
Oh, we were so shocked.
I'm so sorry for Aaron Small's family. I got it wrong. I was wrong, Greg Brady. Do you remember he was sitting in the car and he said he was wrong? It took him a lot of W's. Nobody? Bueller? Greg Brady? The Brady Bunch? Too old. Sheesh. Second and 9 for San Bernardino. Avery, he's not afraid to run around, that's for sure. He's going to keep it. Couldn't find a wide receiver that he wanted, and he had a nice run, a 6 or 7 yard gain.
Even though he's hit, he keeps his feet going, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's a wide receiver. I hope he's not limping because there's nobody else to play quarterback from his team.
He'll be one tired young man at the end of the night.
Yeah. Well, the Bulldogs had a wide receiver at the end of the year, Mike McCoy. It happens.
Where did he go to school this year? Do you know?
I don't. Mike McCoy? I don't know. Looks like first down for the Wolverines. Avery's creating some plays for himself. He wants to make an impression. It's only the second game of the year.
It's the time to do it.
Unless he's not a quarterback. He's just a wide receiver that can play quarterback, and that's all they have. Because there's no other quarterback on the roster. Oh, no, there's Sergio Alcala is a quarterback out of Colton High School.
It's like on that interception, that 90-yard interception.
Yes, 90 yards. Not 60, not 66,
there was
90.
A player from San Bernardino that was not going to give up, was going to try to tackle him at about the 20-yard line. And that's the kind of kid that you give a lot of credit to.
Oh, for sure.
He didn't stop. He
and you can earn jobs by doing things that people don't expect out of you, especially in sports. There's so many kids on the team, and by the end of the season, a big percentage of them are injured.
That's true.
And so you need to know you've got someone to back that person up that's got some skill, and that's what they're trying to prove, especially at this level, because they want to get to the 4-year. Junior college, City College is not the place they want to stay, as opposed to you and me. We're happy here.
I think the quarterback sold that penalty. He jerked his head around like he'd been hit in the head.
Another one, Gavin Gomez.
It's over 100 yards now.
First half was a clean, much more clean on both sides. .536 remaining. 41-0, Bulldogs with the lead. Wolverines with a 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 47.
Brendan hasn't updated it yet, so I don't have the.
Avery. It was a little lob pass. It was batted away by Kamari Lewis Stallworth.
Boy, that was the kind that was just saying, intercept me, intercept me, intercept me. Just floating in the air.
Yeah. I don't think he had the position on the wide receiver to get in front of him and take it.
All right, for Hancock College tonight, 11 penalties, 101 yards.
And how many of those are in the second half?
I would venture to think about
Most. 80?
80, 85, somewhere in there. I mean, when you look at the fact that San Bernardino has 7 first downs by penalty, they got more by penalty than they do rushing or
That's
pass.
not a good stat. 2nd and 10. A complete pass to David Pollard.
Just under 5 minutes.
Another penalty.
On the Bulldogs.
Against the Wolverines. Fourth and 5, they're going to go for it.
And pick it up.
And a 1st down for the Wolverines.
Check on Avery's stats so far here. Of course, they're all in the second half. It'll be 4 of 16.
It's 1st and 10. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the game. 41-0, Bulldogs with the lead, Wolverines with the ball. Gardner, the ball carrier. We've seen him on special teams a lot this game, but now he's lining up as a running back. Gardner from Redlands East Valley High School, the sophomore.
Now Redlands is down in the Inland Empire area.
Yes. There's a good school. Is it University of Redlands? It's a private school down there.
Is it?
Uh-huh. Gain of 4. This time, Avery keeps it, and he's sacked. He's sacked. Jeff Simeon. A loss all the way back to the 36-yard line. It's now 3rd and 13.
Looking to see how many sacks it did.
I love that you have live stats. It's the first year. It's super fun. That one's Hunter Beitler. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
That's 6 sacks so far by the Bulldogs tonight.
Wow.
And nobody has any more than 1, so that shows you how they've shared their wealth.
Got a timeout on the field. Timeout again for the Wolverines. We'll take a quick timeout as well. You're listening to Bulldog Football, where Allen Hancock leads at 41-0 with 2:21 remaining in the game. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. The Bulldogs lead at 41-0 with 2:20 remaining in the game. It's a 4th and 11 for the visiting Wolverines. DeMarcus Avery sends a pass downfield to Rashawn Ramsey. Incomplete, and the Bulldogs will take over on downs. Can we expect the victory formation, Irvin Kiger?
With 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
If we don't, it's
no,
bad
it's a little too long, I think.
Really? Okay. Couple plays.
Get one first. I'd like to see him pick up a first down this half.
And it will be Logan Mortensen again calling the plays for the Bulldogs. He doesn't really call the plays. He plays quarterback. Sure, the plays are coming from the sideline. 1st and 10 from their own 32. Bulldogs. Hunter Cargill, the ball carrier. Hunter Cargill. First time we've talked about him today, the running back out of Bartlett High School in Anchorage, Alaska.
And the first time that they've got a first down this half.
First down, Bulldogs. First down of the second half. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no,
Wow.
no, I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
Now you would think that they'd take a victory, but
Looks like it's John Allen. It's getting a little mouthy on the field.
this is like some of those games where they just don't want the players to shake hands at halftime or at the end of the game.
After the game, yep. 2nd and 9. Ferrari Busby coming in with the play. What a rough second half. What do you learn from a half like this, Irvin?
Yeah. Well, obviously it wasn't all the starters.
No.
And, I mean, it's good for the second and third stringers to get opportunities to get into a game. And just use it as a teaching tool. I mean, this is what you should have done.
Yeah.
One of the things I think that they could have done, but now they're going into the victory formation, they could have held their composure a little bit better.
In the second half, yeah.
In the second half.
Clock is ticking down at 19 seconds. And it looks like that will be the last play of the game. The team's on the field with some cordial congratulation hugs. The Bulldogs win it 41-0, moving their record this season to 2-0. We will take a quick timeout, then we'll come back with the final game stats. You're listening to Bulldog Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu. Welcome back to Allen Hancock College. Final score, Bulldogs win it 41-0. There is handshaking going on the field, which is a nice gesture for both teams. Irvin, the final game statistics.
All right, we're going to start with the team stats first. First down, San Bernardino picked up 16 in the second half, so they had 19 total. Hancock only got 1 the second half, although they were the only team that scored. They ended up with 13. Total yards, Allen Hancock College, 326 yards, 184. San Bernardino Valley College, passing 204 for Hancock, 138 for San Bernardino. And then on the ground, as I go down the computer here, rushing yards, 122 for the Bulldogs, 42 for San Bernardino. That's something that the Bulldogs in years past have always been a much heavier run and pass less. That was a little different today. The punts, there was 8 of them for Allen Hancock for 35.5 yards, and there was 10 of them for San Bernardino, so that they were kicking the ball back and forth a lot. Penalties, like we said, 101 yards for Hancock, only 24 for San Bernardino. Time of possession, Hancock 25:08. 32-37. How come that never figures out to be exactly the way it's supposed to be?
Right.
Yeah. All right, Jordan Fields. That's the defense. I'm going to go to the offensive. And you have to pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. First time we've ever used this. Storr, 9 of 19 through the air, 199 yards, 4 touchdowns. He only played the first half. Logan Mortensen, he was 2 of 6 for 5 yards. On the ground, B.J. Jordan carried the ball 7 times for 62 yards, 8.9-yard average. The longest, of course, being at 44 yards. Dior Kennedy carried the ball 7 times for 24 yards. Hunter Cargill, 1 time for 11 yards. Kutu, 7 times for 8 yards. He didn't have the kind of game that he did last week. Busby, 3 times for 8 yards. John Allen, 5 times for 6 yards. On the receiving side, Jaleel Walker, 2 receptions, 105 yards. Second week in a row, he's gone over 100 yards in receptions. Paulo caught the ball 3 times for 55 yards. Clay twice for 30 yards. Saltero 1 for 9 yards. Petaway 1 for 7 yards. Sutton 1 for no yards. And Jacob Burr 1 for -2. And should we go to the San Bernardino Valley?
No, I don't think we need to.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it.
It wasn't a good day.
It wasn't a good day for them. I was a bit surprised because they've always been very competitive with Allen Hancock College. It was just the Bulldogs' day. They got on top, and once they got on top, they kept rolling. They never took the foot off the first half, and we saw that when they threw a touchdown pass with less than a minute to go.
And a lot of players had a chance to play in the second half.
Yes, they did.
Which, when you're up that much, it's the right thing to do. It's not league season yet. It's not time for your bowl. What could happen if you want to get to a bowl? Your probability of getting to bowl games. This is the time of year when both teams are trying to figure out who's going to play for them.
And you made the comment earlier. By the 6th and 7th game, there's a lot of guys that are dinged up.
Oh yeah.
So you got to find out what these other players can do, not your starters, but your second and third string players can do it, and you have to depend on them because you got to step right in there and do the job. So everybody got an opportunity to play today for the most part, and Hancock second half that would, you could forget about second half on both sides, but they look good the first half, second half. There's some work that needs to be done.
What a great first game of the 2022 season working back with you, Irvin Kiger. I appreciate it so much. Next week, the Bulldogs are on the road at Cerritos before they come back to a home game on the 24th. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff. All you have to do is follow Allen Hancock College football on any social media to find out where you can watch and listen to the Bulldogs versus Cerritos game on Saturday, September 17th. I want to thank Director of Communications Shelby Scott, Head of Statistics and Events, Brandon Robertson, Brian Dill, the executive producer, and Wise Guy, and of course, Jose, the runner. Thank you so much for listening to Allen Hancock College Bulldog Football. For Irvin Kiger, I'm CJ Silas. Once again, the final score, Allen Hancock College 41, the Wolverines of San Bernardino nothing. You've been listening to Allen Hancock College Football at athletics.hancockcollege.edu.